What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking Paragon boards because I've actually unlocked multiple Paragon boards on my rogue here, and I want to dive into everything that you're going to need to know about glyphs, the pathways, the rare nodes, the magic nodes, the legendary nodes, how to choose the Paragon boards, how to rotate them, etc., etc., etc. If you guys have not already subbed, only about 13% of you are subbed, and I've been coming out with a ton of Diablo 4 content because I played about 100 hours of the review build. So if you're interested in hearing actual end game knowledge, consider subbing. Let's dive into the Paragon boards. The first thing I want to talk about is the Paragon Layout. Now, the first initial Paragon board that you're going to get is the exact same for every class. You're going to start down here with a Paragon starting node, and you're going to have to earn your way through and reach a board attachment gate to unlock a new board. Keep in mind that you cannot unlock diagonally. So if you have a node, you can't unlock, northeast or northwest or southeast or southwest. You have to unlock northeast, east, south, and west themselves. So again, if I show you here, if I unlock a node, I can only unlock the two next to it, not the one diagonal. Now, the initial board only has 4 rare nodes and 1 glyph socket. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the glyph socket. It does not have a legendary node. Every other Paragon board after that has 6 rare nodes, a multitude of magic nodes surrounding that rare node, and a legendary node, and lastly a glyph socket right beside 2 rare nodes. And this is every single Paragon board. So the key is, how do we attach gates? How do we get stronger, etc.? Well, in order to attach a gate, you're actually going to have to claim the board attachment gate. And when you click on it, it'll show you the board selections. And for me, I was going to go with no witnesses here because it has a good rare node that I want. And it'll show you the legendary nodes that you can acquire and the rare nodes that you can acquire. But if you have preview, it'll actually show you the board. And this is important because you can actually rotate this for quick and easy access to the glyph socket, which is going to be extremely important. Now, this glyph socket is going to be kind of the key reason why you're picking boards typically. And if I were to attach the board, you can see it'll attach exactly where I put it. But if I were to move the board, and let's say I wanted to go with a different sort of layout, I can rotate the board and boom, we have a different layout. And now I can go straight to that glyph socket rather than kind of weaving my way through with additional nodes that I don't want. So then I can attach the board, and now I can start putting my points in. Now, when you're putting your Paragon points into your Paragon board, there are 2 things to consider. Do you want to go for a legendary node, or do you want to go for a glyph socket and get a lot of value out of your glyph socket? Now, we're going to be talking about glyph sockets later, but the first thing is I want to go for a glyph socket and these nodes around here. So my ultimate goal should be to go straight for that glyph socket. Boom, boom, boom. And if I want willpower, I can go here. If I want dexterity, I can go here. And then I unlock that glyph socket. Now you have to actually go ahead and unlock the glyph socket, okay? You can't just get next to it and then skip. You have to consume a Paragon point for that. And then you can place a glyph in there. It's important to note that the glyph sockets will get better with time, but the magic nodes and rare nodes have set stats that you can see, and the bonus that it says underneath it will actually showcase at the top if it's highlighted green. So for example here, you can see I have 4% maximum life, 10 dexterity, and if I get the bonus, it'll say 8% maximum life, 10 dexterity. So for another example, this says 20% damage, 10 intelligence. If I get 350 intelligence, I don't get 30% damage, I get 20%, and it'll show there. When it's highlighted green, it knows that you unlock that bonus. So you're going to want to focus a lot of the times on these rare nodes because they give you a lot of bonuses. And oftentimes the magic nodes will basically be a smaller version of whatever you're getting on your rare nodes. For example, these damage percentages, you're going to have a smaller version of that, or a smaller version of intelligence. And down here we have maximum life, so we're gonna get maximum life, but a smaller version, and strength, but a smaller version. It's very important to notice that, because if you're looking for, let's say, damage, well, boom, this damage node isn't just 20% damage and 10 intelligence. You're also gonna get potentially 15% damage, as we can see here, from acquiring all these nodes around it, which is a huge deal. That also means that these legendary nodes oftentimes are not worth it because you have to travel so far. And if I started, let's say over here, which is the closest way to get to it, then I would actually have to go ahead and go through all these normal nodes, approach, and go through all these normal nodes until I reach the legendary node. And these only give me base stats or, attributes, which aren't really that great compared to the rare nodes, magic nodes, and legendary nodes, if you can unlock legendary nodes. Now let's talk about glyphs and glyph sockets. First thing I want to address really quickly, I've seen a lot of people comment, hey, we're not going to have the glyphs when we reach level 50. That is true, but you're also not going to have the glyph socket when you reach level 50. And although the glyph acquisition is RNG, you get these extremely quickly and you do not get duplicates. So we need 12 Paragon points to unlock the glyph socket. And for those of you that don't know, we actually get a Paragon point every quarter of a level. So every quarter, we're going to get a Paragon point, and that's going to allow us to put it in the board. So essentially every 3 levels, or the first 3 levels, we're going to unlock the glyph socket, our first glyph socket. By that time, assuming you're playing a world tier 3 and you're doing some dungeons, which is how I acquired my glyphs, you should have most, if not all, the glyphs that you want / need. Which means that when we unlock this glyph socket, we immediately get a ton of value. And so glyphs, in my opinion, and glyph sockets are the most important things for the Paragon board. It's also important to note that the glyph includes the rare and magic nodes, not only the normal nodes. So for example, here I have a node that gives me 10 dexterity and another node that gives me 10 dexterity. And this one scales off my dexterity. Every 5 dexterity purchased within range, I get 3.2% cutthroat damage. Well, guess what? You can see here, I have 6.4% cutthroat skill damage because I have 10 dexterity on this node. So you want to go ahead and put your glyphs in a situation where your rare nodes are going to benefit them. For example, here, this one gives me 10 intelligence, and this one gives me 10 dexterity. So a glyph like this, which I have right here, which gives me extra poison or damage to poison enemies for every intelligence, could potentially go here, depending on how much intelligence I have in this range, because I'm actually getting the intelligence bonus from the knowledge itself. This is a very, very important thing to notice, because it's not just about the normal nodes around it, it's about the magic and rare nodes and how much value you can get from all of that combined. Now you can also level up your glyphs, and when you level up your glyphs, you're going to get increased effectiveness of the actual bonus here. You can see here the bonus that says underneath the radius size. You don't upgrade the additional bonus, but you can upgrade the bonus. And on top of that, you can actually upgrade the radius size at certain levels, for example, at level 15. Now you level these up by just doing nightmare dungeons. And after you do a nightmare dungeons, you're gonna find the actual upgrade material or upgrade XP at the end of the nightmare dungeons, and you get more upgrade XP based on how high the tier of nightmare dungeon you're doing. So the glyphs are extremely, extremely important, and arguably the thing that you're going to want to be paying attention to the most, because they give you massive bonuses. For example, here I'm getting 10% damage reduction, period. That's crazy strong. I'm also getting, massive damage increasing from poison enemies, and massive damage increasing to cutthroat skills, which is going to massively increase my damage, right? This is why I suggest that legendary nodes are typically not going to be worthwhile. Instead, go for glyphs and glyph sockets. Now, one other critical point to note about the Paragon boards is there's 2 versions of the requirements. The first requirement here you can see on the glyph socket is the fact that I need requirements purchased within range, right? That is to get the additional bonus. That means that within this radius, I need that much intelligence, strength, dexterity, etc. There's also the bonuses on the rare nodes, which gives you just that bonus if you have the stats period on your character, not necessarily within the Paragon board or whatever else. It's just if you have that stat, which you can see my stats on the left-hand side here. So it's important to do things like pick up your Altars of Lilith, or if you change out your gear, make sure you aren't losing your Paragon bonuses that you kind of planned for, because these will change drastically. And that also means that just getting some of the stats are going to be incredibly, incredibly important for you to get a ton of value out of your Paragon board, because all stats no longer are just stats like giving you crit chance or armor or whatever, it's also giving you more bonuses in your Paragon boards, which are extremely, extremely important. Now, a general strategy for the Paragon boards before we end the video here is that you're going to want to focus in on your glyph and glyph sockets, in my opinion. Now, these glyphs and glyph sockets, there are mathematical ways we can determine how strong they are for what slot, but generally speaking, the legendary nodes just do not compare with how much value you're getting from exploiting the magic and rare nodes, as well as the glyphs. Now, you do want to get some points within that radius that actually help you with that glyph, and you do want to go ahead and pick up the rare and magic nodes because they can be quite strong oftentimes. But after you've kind of min-maxed that radius, I would generally recommend going for the next Paragon board and getting the next glyph socket. You can sidetrack a little bit here. For example, I went with this core skill damage to give me a ton of extra core skill damage because I, well, have a ton of damage in my core skill. That's my main ability. But generally speaking, I would definitely recommend going immediately for the next Paragon board as soon as you possibly can, because you want to get those glyph sockets and get those glyphs socketed in. Hopefully this helped. If it did, be sure to leave a like on the video, sub to the channel, guys, and I will see you all for a way more Diablo 4 content coming in the next couple of weeks. See you then.